Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for coming for the Sunday Feast talk here at ISKCON of Silicon Valley. And I would like to ask for permission from all the assembled Vaishnavas, headed by Kanka Mataji. And we'll discuss one verse from Srimad Bhagavatam today, but it's a pretty generic verse, and we can start with our Mangalacharan prayers. I like to tell in the class, and Kanka Mataji is a nurse, so she can relate to this, that what's your favorite sport, Vicky? Whatever you can pick. Even if you don't have one, you can pick one. Tennis. So God forbid that Vicky has to undergo some medical procedure. And everything is set in place. We have the anesthetist, the nurse, all the people are there in place. But the main actor is missing, who is the surgeon who is supposed to do the procedure. And they are waiting, just like you waited here. And the doors burst through, and the surgeon comes into the class. And we can see he's wearing a tennis attire. He has all the tennis thing, headbands, and everything. And he barges into the room. Obviously, he's come from a tennis playground, full of sweat and mud. He says, "All right, nurse, let's go. Give me the gloves." And then Vicky, being the intelligent person she will say that, "I don't know if this procedure will do me any harm, this condition will do me any harm, but this procedure will kill me because you haven't even sanitized yourself." So our Mangalacharan prayers are something like sanitizing our heart so that we can receive the message of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So for those who are unfamiliar, you can just enjoy the mantra chant, but for those who are familiar, we'll all try to do it together. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhayascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Gaura Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Thank you, harmonium. Beautiful. So, today we will do one verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, which is 11:9:29. Given that we have been at ISV reciting some verses, and then we will pick this verse for our discussion today. 11th canto, 9th chapter, 29th verse, please. While that's being pulled up, kindly repeat after me, because we say this before Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. 11:9:29, please. 11:9:29. 11th canto, 9th chapter, 29th verse. All right. Let's try. We are all pros. We can do this. So kindly repeat after me. Labdva sudurlabamidam bahusambhavante. Labdva sudurlabamidam bahusambhavante. Manusyamarthadamanityamapi hadhira. Turnam yate tanapate dhanumrityu yavan. Turnam yate tanapate dhanumrityu yavan. Nishrehasaya vishaya kalu sarvatasya. So you can do the translation if anybody can give a mic to Kankamataji, please.
Hare Krishna. After many, many births and deaths, one achieves the rare human form of life, which, although temporary, affords one the opportunity to attain the highest perfection. Thus, a sober human being should quickly endeavor for the ultimate perfection of life, as long as his body, or her body, which is always subject to death, has not fallen down and died. After all, sense gratification is available even in the most abominable species of life, whereas Krishna consciousness is possible only for the human being.
Thank you. So if you can scroll up, Charanimai Prabhu, thank you. So we can take the first line. So it says, Labdhva sudurlabham idam bahusambhavante. That the form of human life is very rare opportunity. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, and we can understand that we are a combination of matter and spirit. Na sato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate satha, ubayaropi drishtantas tainaostatvadarshibhi. He says that we are a combination of matter and spirit. And Krishna says the matter is something is always changing and it can never be permanent or stable. Whereas the spirit that is, which is also us, is eternal and never changing. Material world is changing, spiritual world is unchanging. Material world is temporary, material aspect is temporary, the spiritual aspect is eternal. And Krishna is saying that we are a combination of both in this world. And because of this combination, that the soul cannot die, but then the body is constantly changing, Krishna has given the human or the jiva to take on different species of life. And you might say, really? Yeah, Padma Puran actually mentions there are 8,400,000 species of life, out of which 900,000 are fish. You can see even today, the scientists are still, they find a fish that's never been discovered before, it becomes big news. And then we have some people with a lot of money saying, please name the fish after me. Just as a joke. We'll grant the university or whatever, the money, and then you name the fish after me. If you are attached to that fish, then in next life you will be. You'll be the namesake. But that's a different story. So there are 900,000 species of fish. Then there is 1.1 million species of insects. 2 million species of plants, creepers. There is 1 million species of birds. 3 million species of quadruped. And 400,000 species of human beings. That's a lot, yes or yes? It makes up to 8,400,000 species of life. And the jiva has the path or traversal through any of these species of life. And therefore, when it is said, labdhva sudurlabham, durlabham means rare. Sudurlabham means extremely rare. Idam bahusam bhavante, after many, many, many births, because 8,400,000 species is a lot of enjoyment of material nature. Based on Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that I create certain outlook in this life for my enjoyment or proclivities or activities. Based on my activities, I create a certain consciousness, and in the next life, Krishna is saying, all right, I will give you that consciousness. Now, if our activities are more towards spiritual, then Krishna is saying, I will give you a body that will facilitate spirituality. But if I'm really grossly entrapped and entangled in matter, just not caring about anything, Krishna is saying, brother, why take a trouble so much in human life? I will give you a different species. Think about it. Squirrels, they are there in my backyard. I wonder, which university did they go to acquire their degree? Or which hall did they get their wedding done? How are they even managing to worry about their children sending to college? And, how do they are even familiar with the latest kitchen gadgets that need to be done to enjoy delicious food? Nothing. Because Krishna is saying that if our life, the way we mold it, then Krishna is saying we can travel. And then Bhagavatam says, after many, many births is what you get this human form of life. Labdhva sudurlabham idam bahusam bhavante. After many births, you will get this human form of life, very rare. And it says, the second line says, Manushyam arthadam anityam api hadira. Even though that this material body is temporary, it is having its limitations, yes or yes? Like, because one of the things we say is, if human life is the same as animal life, what's the big deal? I mean, sometimes we use the phrase, man is a social animal. The phrase social animal means, please understand that man needs, or a human being needs company. That's the meaning of being a social animal. And based on how one's company is, you'll have your desires. But the whole idea is that the human life that is formed is also temporary. It has a beginning and it has an end. But this is the beauty of human form of life. You can become a sober person. You can become a dhira. Dhira in Sanskrit means sober person. Because in the human form of life, you've been given this greatest gift, the wealth of discrimination, the wealth of consciousness, the wealth of knowing what is right and what is wrong. Because we have been given this proclivity, then we get the kitchen. Actually, every day in the morning, we go to the kitchen to prepare stuff. Yes or yes? Most of us, all of us. But that itself is a wonder of nature, if you think carefully about it. Which animal has kitchen? A mountain lion, if it has to feed its young, and trust me, if you look at the wild nature or the wildlife documentaries or things, they are amazing stories of how animals take care of their young. Somebody forwarded me this toucan parrots, toucan. I don't know how you pronounce this. Toucan. So the male, the female parrot actually lays the eggs in a hole in a tree. And you know what it does? The male bird actually starts getting mound of earth and dirt. And the female starts actually barricading itself. It itself builds a prison inside that so that it barricades itself along with the eggs. And there is a small slit that the bird can look and take its beak out. So the male actually has to run around, not only get the food for itself, but it also has to get food for the female who is barricaded herself with the eggs. And 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, it doesn't matter how long ever the eggs don't hatch, the mother won't come out of that barricaded prison, the self-imposed barricaded prison. So the idea is that even in the animal form of life, there is a tremendous amount of sacrifice that the animals do to maintain this. So it's mentioned that the male bird actually gets some food and it gives the female, and the documentary showed that the female rejected the food. So, oh, I see, now I need to go get something else. It happened. But in the human form of life, we have a miracle called kitchen. And we can see, what should I cook? I can open the fridge. I can see what are these vegetables, what are the spices, what are the different milk. It's amazing capacity that we have as a human being, that we can prepare food. But in the other forms of life, not so much. The discrimination actually, dhira, or discrimination begins with food. And Krishna develops or dedicates a whole section in Gita about foods. But we'll not get into that. So this is the power of human being, is that not only is the birth rare, but we have the power of discrimination. We have the capacity to understand. We have the capacity to kind of know things. But what sort of things we should know? Because the clock is running out. Turnam yateta napatet anumrutyu yavan. The third line says that Turnam means immediately. That this human life also has a clock on it, just like animals. Our life may be much more longer. For example, there is a phrase called dog years, yes or yes? I mean, everybody compares in terms of like the human life versus the dog life, the whole lifespan. There is that time, but nevertheless, the time is a factor that is affecting both animals and human beings. But the human being, because has the power of discrimination, they can understand and they can strive for what is highest in this life. If one doesn't strive, then one kind of prepares the next body according to one's karma. And you will be like, dude, I walked into the wrong Sunday class or the wrong temple. If you walked into the wrong temple, wrong building, wrong purpose, as Vaisheshik Prabhu says, please stay. The whole purpose of informing this is not to promote negativity or depression or fear. Oh my God, they are talking about death. No, it's a fact of life. I will tell one example, one more medical example. If a person has serious condition or a cancer, and if the doctor says, it's just a mild headache, here, please take Aleve or Tylenol, and it'll be okay. Is the doctor doing a service or a disservice? So when we remind each other that we have a human form of life that is actually having a clock and it's running out, it is a way to inspire each other to seek the highest. And that any person who is having that knowledge will say, let me help others, let me remind others. It's a beneficial thing. Turnam yatet napatet anumrutyu yavan. Till the human life does not fall away, then one should strive for the highest goal of life. And at this time, I have a question for the audience. What do you think is the highest goal of life? Because you need to strive for highest goal of life. Some might think the highest goal of life is at least to have a net worth of $100 million. Or an academician might think the highest goal of life is I should win a Nobel Prize. Anybody? Of course. Yes, Mata, your good name? Please take the mic. That's so nice. That's so nice. Thank you. And you want to elaborate more on that? Your good name?
My name is Namita.
Namita.
And I want to be like seva, just to get the seva bhav for Krishna.
Nice.
Like right now I'm still in the material world, but I want to be like when I can keep Krishna in everything in the center. I'm doing everything for Krishna only. So that is the highest goal of my life.
So, Namita, I will be the devil's advocate. Okay?
But
I will take the opposite.
okay.
The people will say, Namita, what is wrong with you? Everybody wants to be on the topmost. You want to be the servant of Krishna, and that's the perfection of life. Something wrong with you?
I cannot answer that. Maybe.
And Namita, if that is the exactly right answer, just to reinforce it. But when you, when people ask like that, and we also, those who are members of Krishna consciousness, for example, this is our temple commander, Ramananda Saka. But his last name, surname is Das. Means he's a servant of the friend of Ramananda, who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, and then if you ask, for example, we have recently, 2 days ago, Kennedy got initiated. Her name is not Kartika, her name is Kartika Dasi, which means a servant of Krishna. So we all want to be a servant of Krishna. The reason I'm taking a devil's advocate is to strengthen that this is the highest perfection of life, is to realize that there is somebody who is controlling us. This Turnam, all these things that I talked about indicate that there is a person who is controlling. There is a person who is superior to us. Yes or yes?
Yes.
Otherwise, why would a clock be set on me? Who is setting the clock? And more importantly, who is the one that is deciding my time is up? There must be somebody, yes or yes? Because nobody will say that, if you ask a person, what is the most exciting phase you are looking, and that person is 15 years old, I would like to meet that person who says that the most exciting time of my life is between 85 and 90 years old. Everybody is afraid of death. If you live till 85, 90, that's another achievement. If you are at 100, reporters will come and ask you, what is the secret of your longevity? So it is not a question of negativity that we talk about the fact that, we are in such a situation. It is just a fact of where we are. I'll give you one more example. If you go to Hawaii and then, really you're enjoying the place, and somehow or other you're doing the, what's that called? No. Thank you. And then you have a bump in the head, and somehow, and then you have a short-term amnesia. You forget who you are, where you came from. And then you are going back to the hotel, that is the hotel you lived with. And if somebody comes and says, look, you know what, you should actually go back to your home, because the more you stay in the hotel, the bill is going to run, and you pretty much will be kicked out of this hotel. And when the person is trying to help that person in amnesia, is that person telling bad news or really helping that person out of sincere heart? The same thing, because we have the human form of life that we came into. What jackpot did we hit? That is something that we can discuss. So this shows the gratitude of being in the human form of life and really pushing ourselves to a higher purpose. Otherwise, what happens is, especially in Kali Yuga, it becomes such a competitive atmosphere that the all-consuming competition at work, at business, at school, at academia, they take on our whole bandwidth of mind and thought and efforts, to the extent that we do not even pause to think of the spirituality. And when we come into the association of those who are spiritual and like-minded, we are reminded. We are told that do what you need to do to maintain, but there is a higher purpose. Don't miss it out. Don't miss that boat. You might say, well, this life, it's okay. Next life I'll get a chance. No, if God is not that cruel. God is very, very favorable person. He's kind. He'll give me another chance. It's okay. This time I'll be a multi-billionaire. Next life I'll think of God. We have a story from Bhagavatam. Maharaj Bharat, he was the emperor of the world. Please understand, he didn't have to worry about re-election campaigns. He didn't have to worry about Congress and Senate trying to bypass and oppose whatever his intention was. It was not he could sign a bill into the law only to say judges will reverse it. He was the judge, jury, and executioner, not just of a small, tiny fraction of land, but the entire 9 seas. His health was perfect. He was not suffering from the last stage of terminal cancer that he had to go to forest. Nor was his wife saying, I will divorce you. Nor his kids were rebelling. He had everything in order. Yet, out of a deep desire to achieve God, he gave up everything and he went to the forest. In that forest, he was strictly performing austerities, worshipping Vishnu in the form of sun, Surya Narayana. 3 times a day, he would take bath and he would offer his Gayatri mantra without fail. And as he was performing these austerities, he was getting an ever new experience of bliss, of worshipping Krishna or God. And one day, as his daily routine and practice was that he was standing in the river. And in those days, you did not have home and running water. You just would take the water from the river, offer it to the Lord, and give it back. And as he was doing it, he saw that there was a deer, a pregnant deer about to deliver, being chased by a tiger. And the mother deer was completely experiencing trauma as she was being chased by death personified. And then she jumped over the river in a brave attempt to escape the tiger. But as she jumped over the river, she delivered the baby. And then she crossed the river, she went into the cave, and she died of that shock. Maharaj Bharat didn't know what to do. He thought it was destiny. He thought it was providence. He thought it was the will of Lord that he had to take care of this orphaned baby deer. And then he started taking care of it. But the problem was that slowly the consciousness began to shift from Krishna to the deer. He would think he would be performing his austerities. Where is the deer? Is the deer here? And if the deer went a little far away, he would be worried. Maybe some tiger has eaten this deer. Or if the deer didn't come back for a long time, he would say, "Oh dear, where have you gone? Are you really, really mad at me? Please come back." And you can see, slow by slow, he started to shift his consciousness from God to the deer. And at the end of life, he was really worried. What would happen to the deer? And this was Maharaj Bharat, who was an exalted devotee, who was, as Bhagavatam mentions, on the stage of highest realization of God, or almost second highest realization of God. And then when he was thinking like this, death came upon. And this is the fact. Krishna says, "Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram tam tam evati kaunteya sadatat bhava pavita." Whatever stage, whatever bhava, whatever consciousness one thinks of at the time of death, in the next life you will be that without fail. And with that, Maharaj Bharat became a cat in the next life because the consciousness was absorbed in deer. He became a deer. But this is the beauty. You might say, actually, if I tell this story, some people in the audience will be shocked. They will actually run opposite to God. You know why? How can God not protect Maharaj Bharat from becoming a deer? Yes or yes? This is terrible. What God is he? He can't even protect. Here is the thing though. Krishna is not interfering with our free will. That is, there are many, many reasons. I won't get into too many reasons for the sake of this. But the fact is that Krishna does not interfere with our free will. Krishna says that what you want to do, you do, but you will be responsible for the actions. That is point number one. This is point number two, the most beautiful point. That because Maharaj Bharat performed severe austerities to please Krishna, his memory was not lost even in a deer's body. He remembered why I got the form of a deer. That is the beauty. Krishna's protection is not just one-sided. Because seriously, some people asked me, yesterday we had a class, he said, if Krishna is sitting in your heart and my heart, why is he not taking us back? What sort of God is he that is making us suffer? I said, if he takes you back to the spiritual world against your wish, Krishna is a kidnapper. He is not voluntarily seeking your thing. He is saying, that's why this is the beauty of the Lord. He's saying he comes so many times to this world, even though he doesn't have to come, just to reclaim us, just to say, please come back. please come back. Just like a parent, think about it. Krishna is like that supreme father who is telling a stubborn child, please come back. Enough. Which parent, imagine your child is just become a little angry with you and left home. And was really, really, really suffering. The father goes n number of times to get the child back, but never threatens or forces or puts a gun to the head. Please, come back. That is not loving father. Yes or yes? That is Krishna's nature. Krishna is not saying that, and please understand that he does not need things from us. He is completely self-satisfied. So he comes for us. That is his grace. That is his mercy. That is his supreme benevolence. So Maharaj Bharat, even though he was a deer, Krishna gave him the remembrance, the power to understand why he was. And the beauty was in deer's body, Maharaj Bharat said, what did I do? And this is another part. That doesn't mean that we become callous to our loved and dear ones. That is not the purpose of the story. The story is that you can never attach yourself to the point that you can forget Krishna. You should always take care of your dependents, you should do your duty and so on and so forth, but with a sense of detachment. And this verse from Bhagavatam says, you seek the highest, Nishreyasaya. The highest is devotional service to Krishna, or as Namita said, becoming a servant of Krishna. And that is the purpose of all the Vedas, of all the Upanishads, all the religions, scriptures, charities, vows, austerities, is one-minded achievement of Krishna. There are many, many ways and paths, but that is the ultimate goal. And if you have that ultimate goal in whatever you do, then you are living the human form of life that you have been realizing the highest potential that you can, the highest gain you can get. But this is where our Krishna consciousness movement is one of many. We are not saying we are the. We are promoting the highest and purest principles. But if you are having certain faith in some other religion, as Srila Prabhupada would say, then become a better Christian, become a better Muslim. But if you don't have the human life as a single point mission to serve God, then you are falling short of the highest profit that you can get from the human form of life. And just to conclude the beautiful story, in the next life, Maharaj Bharat, when he gave up the body of deer, he became a Brahmana, Jada Bharat. Beautiful, beautiful pastimes are there in Srimad Bhagavatam. And after that, he went back home, back to Godhead. So Krishna will never, ever cease from protecting one who has taken shelter of him. He is the best personality to take shelter of. He is the best personality to serve. He is the best personality to offer our love, homage, and our very soul. And you will never, ever, ever be disappointed. It will not never fall short. Otherwise, you will have the same experience I had, that you look at something from Amazon, it looks really, really, really nice. Nothing against Amazon, I like it. But when it comes, you'll be like disappointed. Like, I'll take a brief pause for questions, comments, reflections. All right. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
I was also thinking, like, as we pray, that we really want that higher stage, to reach that higher purpose of life, but somehow it's like sometimes you feel like the progress is very slow, maybe. So does it mean that it's just like superficial, just like on the only in the mind that desire? That means it's not like very deep in the heart.
Thank you. The one point I wanted to, and probably I'll give a long answer, which might be the second part of the class. To achieve God seems like nice on the paper. It's great, we go to the temple, we go to church, we go to this place, talk of God. And when you go out, the reality seems to be very different. At least that's my experience. I don't know about others. I mean, the same bills will come, the same problems will come, the same boss is staring at your face and asking for status reports. The same pesky things go on in life. So how to practically achieve God? And Krishna here, he gives in Gita, he gives 3 paths. He gives 3 paths how to achieve him. The path of work, the path of knowledge, and the path of devotion. The path of work means that I will do my duty, whatever be it, and then I'll offer the results to God. By continuously forfeiting the attachment to my results, then I will attain a stage of little detachment from the world, and by further progressing on that path, Krishna mentions in the 18th chapter of mind control, self-control, so on, and celibacy, and so on and so forth. And at last you will attain perfection in realizing that you are not the matter but spirit, and you will have complete enjoyment. That's path of work. The path of knowledge is that one studies serious scriptures. The path of knowledge actually is the next step and path of work. One seriously studies scriptures, analyzes this material world, sees what is temporary, what is real, reject what is temporary, accept what is real, and you be on that path for a very, very, very long time. And then you will come to the conclusion that God is formless, impersonal, light, infinite, and so on and so forth. And then you will achieve some amount of spiritual happiness. The third stage, as we know, is the stage of devotion, where instead of going on the path of knowledge and path of work, we accept a path of devotion, which consists of a few set of activities. And we'll do one of the activities now when we have a small Kirtan, where we utter the names of God, trying to establish a relationship with God. The path of work actually has some problems or some limitations. Krishna says that he has created 4 classes of people: the priestly class, the warrior class, the mercantile class, and the worker class. And he says, based on your aptitude and inclination, you have to perform your acts accordingly. And then you should go on that path. In the modern life, that is little difficult, because there is no clear distinction and there is no clear financial support for the classes. It's all mixed up, correct? For example, if I say that I'm a priestly class and I'll not seek any employment and I'll just do whatever is prescribed of the priestly class, reading and studying the Vedas, like Kuladweep does, offering fire sacrifices and asking others to do fire sacrifice, and then accepting donation and giving donation. I will maintain my life. Probably Silicon Valley, I might end up finding homeless. If one has faith in Krishna, Krishna will provide and protect. Don't get me wrong. But just to maintain your body, you at least need to work. So Krishna says this path of devotion comes after the path of knowledge and after the path of work. He says, Brahma bhuta prasannatma na shochati na kankshati samaha sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim lavate param. He says that after realizing Brahman then and seeing everybody equally, then you will come to my bhakti or path of devotion. So since we might not have that kind of prerequisite, when you are given directly the PhD courses from Stanford, when you are at 8th grade, there could be a little difficulty. Because bhakti is highest. And not to belittle anybody's qualifications or lack of thereof. It is in a general struggle because we have been given the highest, and sometimes we might not have that background to assimilate it right now. But the acts of devotion, actually, they are lodged deep in our heart. For, as I said, labdhva sudurlabham idam bahusambam. For millions and billions of lifetimes, I have been traversing through different bodies, and I have accumulated those impressions and desires to such an extent, they are infinitely deep within my heart. Now, when I take the seeds of bhakti, when I do bhakti, I am cutting that desires from the root. Because bhakti is not the process that is going to superficially cleanse, but it's going to cleanse from the roots. And if it is having its effects on the roots, you will not see much of destruction of the tree outside. For example, there is a huge banyan tree, and then the roots actually go like 2 miles down. And if you dig a hole 2 miles down and try to kill the tree by giving a little bit of poison to the tree, the top might be still the same. Yes or yes? But when it slowly burns up, and when the time comes, in the Sevika Mataji, it will just... So we need to keep just going at it. One last point. Even the very fact, the initial stages of devotion actually immediately stops the material miseries. You get a sense of freedom. I don't need to compete in this world to that extent. If you compete, please compete. I'm telling them. I mean, you need to do what you need to do. But the fact of the matter is that, the youth here know that it's not like academic success defines my life. That is not the purpose of life. Because they are nishreyasaya, they know the higher purpose of life. Is that helpful? So, the bhakti process, and the other thing is Kali Yuga is saturated with modes of passion and ignorance. Bhakti is in the mode of goodness or even beyond the mode of goodness. So there can be occasional clashes as well. But we keep going at it, no matter what. We say to Krishna that your lotus feet are the only object of my treasure, of my goal, and there is nothing else beyond it. Whatever time it takes, I'm ready to give. And if we have that attitude in our heart, Krishna is so pleased. And He will make a quick effort. Is that helpful? Does it satisfy you? Thank you. More questions, comments? Yes, Kartika, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much for this class. My question was, so the example you gave for Srimad Bhagavatam was someone who you said had it all together. What hope is there for us who don't have it all together, or in a more difficult yuga, who has more distractions than ever before?
Thank you. Which was one of the other classes or other topics I wanted to cover. You are right. In this age of Kali Yuga, which is an age saturated with terrible atheism and materialism and rampant with vice of all descriptions, bhakti can be a very challenging thing. Because people barely have any time for anything. They don't have A, faith to begin with. B, even if you have faith, it's quickly extinguished by so many reversals or other things in life, so many other ideas, so many other smartphones, and God knows how many more social media platforms. And just the simple bhakti is itself a challenge. What to speak of getting pure devotional service or preaching the ideal of pure devotional service. More than that, what to speak of giving love of Krishna that's in Vrindavan. Enter our hero, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because he came to this Kali Yuga just to give exactly that. That this very difficult bhakti that is rare to attain, he said, now take it to everyone. And that's why we had this Gaur Purnim festival, where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was Krishna himself. He came, Krishna said, surrender unto me, I'll give you protection. But who will listen? Krishna gave that message not in the beginning of Satya Yuga. He gave at the end of and beginning of. Thank you. Who is going to even do that? The word surrender is like it's like such a horrible term. It's used for military, used for kidnapping and so many other things. Surrender doesn't fit in the modern context with God, unfortunately. It's people, it's police who's taking the guns and raising surrender. Yes, sir, yes. So then who will actually surrender to Krishna? And then how will even know what is surrender to Krishna? And here is the worst part. We will have so many people who will claim to be God themselves. Can we surrender to all of them? So Krishna comes knowing the difficulty of this age. He comes as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whose festival we celebrated a couple of days ago. That beautiful golden avatar. He gave this love of God to everyone, irrespective of who is fit and who is unfit. Is that helpful, Mata Kartika? So just we follow Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the parampara, which is, our founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and his disciples who are just carrying on that parampara. And with that message, it's guaranteed. This is the hope I have. Other processes might or might not work. The process of dhyana yoga, for example. Shall I tell what is dhyana yoga? Yeah, it's a good idea. Just to contrast with bhakti. Nothing against dhyana. In dhyana yoga, first of all, Krishna says that you have to work. And when you are advanced in dhyana, then you can go to forest. But you cannot go to any forest and camp and put some nice, it's not like that. That dhyana yoga means I forget my wife, my kids, my job and everything, go to the forest, set a campfire and... No, you have to find a place which is neither too high nor too low. Place has to be sacred. You have to get a deer skin. Good luck with that. Put it on the ground. Then you should sit in the yogic posture. You should be straight. You should be half closed. Eyes should be half closed and staring at the tip of the nose. And you should control your breath. You should stay alone in the forest, not worrying about insect repellent or Patagonia jacket. I do have Patagonia jacket, good jackets. Or the fire, or where is the nearest safe way. The most important thing for the modern yogi is their internet connectivity. Then this is not a suitable place for yoga because there is no internet connectivity. So you have to do that. You have to control completely your mind and you have to focus and lift the life air from different chakras up to the top of the head. Modern age, you try going on Everest. Did I tell the story of Everest? Now it has become the ultimate adventure. I don't know if you know Kanka Mataji, but it has become the ultimate adventure. Wealthy people who have a lot of money, they pay 100,000 upward dollars to the companies. And you have a year process where you really make yourself fit to go to Everest. You have to, first of all, get acclimatized, oxygen and load and everything you need to carry and so on and so forth, get the physical conditioning now, here. And then you go to Everest, maybe in March, April. You go there, the Everest is, geography quiz, how high is the Everest, the tallest mountain? 9,000 meters, feet? Okay. So 9,000 meters, I don't know the feet. There's about 29,000 feet. Everest is 29,000 feet. And that's become the latest challenge for those who are wealthy, rich, bored, seeking the next adventure. Then at 15,000 feet, you set the base. That's the base camp. You go, you set up the base camp, you set up a tent, and then you wait. Why do you wait? In a year, there is only a 2-week time window where the winds are not so ferocious, where you can actually make the climb to the top. If the winds are very strong, no, you cannot go. And then, of course, you have guides and so on and so forth. There are hundreds of people actually waiting at the base camp at 15,000 feet. And please understand, there are no luxury 5-star hotels built up there. You have rivers flowing, and then you have your base camp here. You have to eat whatever you can and do your calls of nature as soon as you can. Preferably dig a hole in the ground and get it done over with. Unfortunately, and the camps are at different level. This company has a camp here, the other company has a camp a little higher, and so on and so forth. And then, good luck if you are in the lower camp, because people in the higher camp have used the rivers for answering the calls of nature. And you are getting the Mahabhishekam. So where will I do Dhyan Yoga in this age of Kali Yuga? Even if I even go to Everest. Fair? Because don't tell this to any coffee shop, because they will set up a... So in Kali Yuga, Dhyana Yoga is practically difficult or next impossible. We neither have the bodies. And I'll tell you one simple thing. I go to Bhakti Vriksha programs. I go every week to different houses and give classes. In some houses, some of the locations I go, I'm really enchanted by few of the kids they come. They are like 9 years, 11 years, 12 years. Believe it or not, every class they come, they sit for 2 hours. They are souls, they obviously have connection from the previous life. They sometimes understand. They just come and sit. And they will, if I miss for a month, they'll say, where did you go last month? Why didn't you come? So I go to these houses, and then one of the houses I went, and the kid was sitting right there as I was giving the class. After some time, maybe 30 minutes, the boy was maybe 10, 11 years old. And after some time, he started a little bit fidgeting. He's like, I said, is everything okay? He said, well, I can't sit on the floor. It's like, a little hard. I said, please, why don't you go sit on the chair? I love that kid. But the fact is that in Kali Yuga, we don't have the training even to sit for half an hour in a squatting position. What can we do? Dhyana Yoga. So that is the reason why in this age of Kali Yuga, it is best prescribed is the process of yoga forms is the Bhakti Yoga. It's a simple yoga that doesn't need any qualification, that doesn't need any background, that doesn't need any consideration, caste, creed, color of skin, gender. It doesn't matter, because we are pure spirit souls. Rupa Goswami says everyone is capable of serving that supreme absolute truth, because everybody belongs to Krishna. So the process of hearing and chanting is much more easier than going to Dhyana Yoga. Agreed? I mean, I can put in touch with all those companies who can take you to Everest, but who are in favor of Dhyana, but highly, highly recommend against it. Because this age of Kali Yuga doesn't lend to that. We neither have the bodies, nor have the lifespan, nor have the concentration, nor the breath control. We don't even know what does it mean to exhale and inhale and then join them both. Right? Kaldi Prabhu, it's Rechaka, Kumbhaka. Yeah. Till I read Prabhupada's books, I never even heard of these terms, even though I was born in India and raised in India. So its best process is to do Bhakti Yoga. And the Bhakti Yoga is simple, by chanting the names of Krishna. It's a process that anybody can do, and at any point you can do, under any circumstances you can do. with no consideration. Shall I tell the story of Ajamil or should we do a little bit of Kirtan? Your choice. I think we'll do 5-10 minutes of Kirtan. If there is time, we'll do the Ajamil story. Otherwise, yeah. You have Kartals. Kartals? There is no Kartals? All right. All right. We'll sing the Pranam mantra to our founder Acharya. We'll do the Panchatattva and then we'll do the Maha mantra. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki. So today, for those who just joined a little late, please welcome to ISKCON of Silicon Valley for our Sunday Feast class. Today we covered a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, which is 11.9.29, for those who want to know, where we discussed about the rarity and the extreme good fortune of obtaining the human form of life, and how even though this life is having a temporary situation, one can get the highest benefit by pursuing the path of spirituality. And amongst that is being or rendering devotional service to Krishna, one can get the highest perfection in this life. And we also discussed about the story of Maharaj Bharat, and we also discussed in brief about the different forms of yoga and how the form of bhakti yoga, which includes the simple process of chanting the names of God that we have done just now, will lead us to the highest benefit in this age of Kali Yuga. There is no hard and fast rules for chanting. There is no background, prerequisite, an understanding of mantra. It's nothing. Anybody and everybody can chant the names of Krishna and achieve the highest perfection in this age of Kali Yuga. And so you can try it. Srila Prabhupada used to say, please try it if you like it. It's free. If you like it, you can take it. Otherwise, you can give it back and we'll return your money. So that's what we discussed in a nutshell. If you have any questions or any comments or any reflections, we have about 5 more minutes before we have the beautiful Aarti of Sri Sri Radha Madana Mohan. Any questions, comments? Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you so much for the wonderful lecture. I really like the fact which you mentioned, like the importance of, rarest form of human life. And since we have been given this life, by Krishna, according to our karma, so it should be utilized in the service of the Lord. So that is the best thing we can do in this age of Kali Yuga through the Bhakti Yoga. So thank you so much for...
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. More reflections? Yes, Mataji, your good name? Okay, you take the mic and then you can. Please tell your name also. Yes. You're done with the comments, right? Yes, okay. Yes.
Hare Krishna. My name is Sheetal. My question is, when we look around us, there is so much creation, so many different jivas we see. So I wonder sometimes why Krishna would create so many jivas, but also give so much suffering. In human form, we at least know what can cause, our karma can cause suffering, bad karma can cause suffering, but the jivas, other animals, that they have so much physical pain and like suffering. So why? My question is like, why Krishna created so many jivas but also gave so much suffering to them?
So Krishna says in the Gita that this material world is a place where one experiences suffering, yes, as you mentioned, but also both happiness and suffering. It's a place of experiencing happiness and suffering and mixed. So that is how the material world works. So even animals also have some sort of happiness and they have some sort of suffering. So also the human beings. Why did Krishna create? Because the jiva has infinite number of desires and Krishna facilitates through the material nature. First of all, when he creates the material nature, he kind of is not directly responsible for the activities. Directly. Indirectly, yes. Let me give an example. If there are some prisoners in the prison, the president of this country is not directly looking after the prisoners, but the warden is, who is maintaining. The material nature Krishna created looks after the happiness and distress of all these conditioned souls. And why did he create? Because Krishna said, because we said, we want to experience, and Krishna is merely facilitating. For example, you can ask a question, why is a person in the prison? Did the police put him there or the judge? No, they just merely facilitated. But having said that, it can seem to be a very point blank, oh, my karma, my world. It is not like that. It is a much more nuanced answer, but the essence is we are somehow or other in this position, we have the choice to get out. And suffering is not just the suffering. There is happiness and suffering in this world. For example, how many times you thought that person is really a vicious, vile person, and how is he doing or she is doing so good in this world? And vice versa, he's a nice person, but they seem to can't catch a break. So it's a mixed bag here in this world. So one shouldn't be too scared, but at the same time, one shouldn't be too lax about this world also. Because if you surrender to Krishna, he will protect you in all places, under all circumstances. Thank you, Sheetal.
Thank you.
Is that helpful?
Yeah, it is helpful, and I like that that we still have the free will to choose things and experience the things that we want to experience. So I'm really grateful to the way the creation is and the way we have choices and still have the freedom, even though we are like it seemed to not have freedom, but still have freedom. Like
yeah, that's true. At least we know that how much freedom we have. The knowledge of knowing how much of freedom we have.
Thank you.
Thank you. Other question? Other comments? Yes, Prabhu, and then last Mohit.
Hare Krishna. Just a reflection. Thanks for bringing that very powerful verse. One reflection I had was related to the comment on like why it is very difficult to do devotional service. So I reference that to Prabhupada's comment of fan's momentum, where it's like the fan is moving and when we turn it off, it doesn't stop on immediately. It takes time. So it's like it's a gradual process where it's like being in devotional service, being fixed in having a faith that, okay, yes, avashyam rakshate, like he will protect us. So if we are in that mood, definitely we'll get help. So that's my reflection in terms of like the example of a fan what Prabhupada gave. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Well said. Excellent point. Thank you, Prabhu, for bringing it up. Mohit, and then we can. You have to get the mic.
Prabhuji mentioned about 400,000 types of species within the human life. Is there a category among that also? And is everyone eligible, have the same facility to go back to Godhead, or there is difference in those? Only one category or some categories are having better facilities or better chances to go?
What a wonderful question to ask. So among 400,000 species of human beings might be hard to see in this world because we do see certain categories of human beings, but it's hard to tally that number to 400,000. The 400,000 human beings refers not only to this earth, but to the entire planetary system. That is, I just wanted to clarify. The devatas, the demigods, in Bhagavatam, we have so many kinnaras, gandharvas, yakshas. There are so many species like that, rakshasas and so on and so. They all constitute the 400,000. So in Bhagavatam, I'll close the verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. There is a beautiful verse in Bhagavatam. It says in the second canto, 4th chapter, Kiratahunandra pulinda pulkasha abhira shumbha khavanaya sadaya abhira shumbha yavana khashadaya yenye cha papa yadapashraya shraya shuddyanti tasmai prabhavishnave namaha. It is said that any species, Kiratas, Hunandras, Pulinda, they are all the categories of human beings. And they are not considered very advanced in terms of the spiritual realization. But Bhagavatam assures that even those of the lowest of the human species can still be purified by the process of devotional service. Thank you. All right, with that we'll stop here. We will quickly roll up the carpet, take the seats, put it back, and then have the massive, beautiful festival. And Shamalangi is the pujari here, and she will do the offering, and then we can enjoy the Kirtan and Aarti. Thank you very much for coming. Hare Krishna.
Just Hare Krishna. Oh, sorry. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine
भगवान की जय, श्रीमन महाप्रभु की जय, लक्ष्मी नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंद।
हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे हरि बोल हरि हरि बोल। हरि बोल। नमस्ते नरसिंहाय नमस्ते नरसिंहाय प्रहलाद लाददायिने हिरण्याकाशी पूर्वक्षः हिरण्याकाशी पूर्वक्षः शीलटङ्कानकालये शीलटङ्कानकालये हितो नरसिंह परतो नरसिंह हितो नरसिंह परतो नरसिंह यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंह यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंह पहे नरसिंह हृदये नरसिंह पहे नरसिंह हृदये नरसिंह नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपदे नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपदे तव करकमलवरेणकाम् अद्भुत शृङ्गादालिता हिरण्यकशिपु तानो बेङ्गा केशवदिता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय नृसिंहदेव जय नृसिंहदेव जय नृसिंहदेव जय नृसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज भक्त प्रहलाद प्रहलाद महाराज जय भक्त प्रहलाद जय प्रभुपदा 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 जय प्रभुपदा अनिता गुर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निता गुर हरि बोल श्री विघ्न विनाश नृसिंहदेव भगवान की जय भक्त शिरोमणि प्रहलाद महाराज की जय गौर प्रेमानंदे
हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. We'll welcome every one of you to today's Sunday Feast program at ISKCON of Silicon Valley. Thank you all for taking your time to come over here. Hari Bol. So today's Sunday Feast lecture was brought to us by His Grace Srivas Pandit Prabhu. So a big round of applause to Prabhuji. Prabhu spoke on the rarity and the importance of human form of life. We get this body after many, many millions of births, and it provides us an opportunity to perfect the mission of the human life, which is to advance in spiritual consciousness. Thank you, Prabhu. Gaur Aarti and Kirtan was brought to us by Her Grace Ananya Radhika Mataji, followed by Narsimha prayers by Sadhu Vrindavan Prabhu. Hari Bol. And broadcast to the entire world brought to us by His Grace Charunimai Prabhu in the broadcast room. So we would like to see if there are any newcomers who are coming to the temple for the first time. Is there anybody who is here for the first time? Hare Krishna, thank you. Anybody else? Okay, sounds good. Thank you very much, Mataji, for coming over here. Let us all chant together one Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to bring all auspiciousness in her life, and praying to the Lord that may she keep coming to the temple again and again. Hare Krishna. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you. Then we will have one sponsorship announcement. So the first sponsorship is coming from Akhil Prabhu, who is sponsoring on the occasion of his wife, Anusha Mataji's birthday. So do Hari Bol! Is Akhil Prabhu here? Oh yes, he's right there. Please, Prabhu. So Prabhu had a request for a prayer. You can say that yourself, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you so much for having us here. Just praying for the spiritual progress of Anusha and her family and good health for her.
Seeking Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan and all of your blessings. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Prabhu. Prabhu, take the Mahaprasad. And this should have been given to her actually. Anyways. So, do we have any cook's announcement today? Yes. Arshia, right? Arna. Okay.
Hare Krishna. Today's Sunday feast is cooked by Ananda Vrindavan Mataji, Sham Bhakta Prabhu, Shama Karuna Mataji, Hitesh Prabhu, Divyanand Prabhu, Meghavi Mataji, Shreya Mataji, Harini Mataji, Nitai Prabhu, Suraj Prabhu, and Neha Mataji. Hari Bol!
Thank you. Let's go into the Prasadam prayers. And after Prasadam prayers, we can head right out from this door. And the Prasadam is being served in 2 lanes. The lane farther away is the pre-made Prasadam. And the lane closer to us, it's custom Prasadam. So if you have choices, I don't want this, I want that, etc. Be in the custom lane. If you're fine with the pre-made Prasadam, be on the farther lane. That will be faster. Hare Krishna.
Sharira Vidyaja Jorendriya Tahika Jive Fele Vishaya Sagore Tarmadhe Jivayati Lobhamoy Sundurmati Take Jita Katina Samsare Krishna Badodoyamon Kori Bhare Jivaja Swaprasadanna Dilo Bhai Se Anyamrita Pao Radha Krishna Guna Gao Preme Dhako Shri Chaitanya Nitai Preme Dhako Shri Chaitanya Nitai Prasade Govinde Namo Brahmane Vaishnave Salpa Punyavatam Rajan Vishvaso Nevajayate Prasade Sarva Dukanam Hanirasho Pajayate Prasanna Chetaso Yashu Buddhi Paryavashishtate Vayopa Bhukta Shaganda Vasolankar Charchita Uchishta Bhojino Dasa Stavamayam Vemaji Shuksham Paryushitam Vapi Nitam Vaduradeshataha Prapti Matrena Bhoktavyam Natra Kala Vicharana Nadesha Niyamastatra Nakala Niyamastata Praptamannam Drutam Shishter Bhoktavyam Harirapravi Bhagavad Shri Mahaprasadam Ki